Thursday afternoon, Manisha. But, let's move on from coffee to tea, because for every cup of coffee, we have 10 cups of tea in India, a primarily chai-drinking nation. And she has with her a very interesting guest, Manisha.
Oh, well, yes, Bala Sarda, who's founder and CEO of Vahdam Teas, now joins us. Bala, hi, good to have you. Clearly, a great day to have you, because as we've been discussing beverages for some time now. But for you, I'm sure you're in a celebratory mode, because the first experience space is what you've opened in Delhi. I basically want to start with that first, and of course, then we'll talk about the industry overall.
Absolutely. Thanks, Manisha, for having me on your show. I think we're, like you rightly said, we're super excited to see our first experience store finally opening in Khan Market in New Delhi. I think, since we started 8 years back as a business, you're aware, we've always been first. So we have been a digitally native brand, even though we launched into retail in the US and some of our key markets like Canada and Europe 3 years back. But ultimately, we always knew that, tea is this sensorial experience. And I think, it's very, very important to touch, taste, smell the aromas of our blends and taste it in our stores to actually and entirely experience the brand. The pandemic delayed our plans to open the EBO, so I'm super excited to finally see our store opening. And, we're talking to our customers, and we're hopeful to sort of continue to expand our omni-channel presence, especially with physical and experience stores over the next few years.
Last time I spoke to you, Bala, I remember you saying that much of the tea globally, whether it's Darjeeling or chai brands, are coming from international houses and not so much for India. Is that changing on ground now?
Manisha, I think it's a long, long journey. I think, as you're aware, tea is a multi-billion-dollar category. Most of these legacy brands I'm talking to you are like almost like some of them are like over 100 years old. They've been building this for centuries now. So I think it'll take some time, but I think, we definitely are marching in the right direction. I think, that's really the reason with which we started. We always knew that, India makes the best teas in the world, but all the good stuff was exported at single-digit margins to foreign brands who would sell it to consumers. And we said, why can't we change that? It will not only help consumers get a much better and fresher product, but it will also help us bring a lot of value back to the value chain here in India and the millions of farmers who are employed in this industry, right? So I think with digital infrastructure being built globally, with so many consumer brands coming out, and with what we at Vahdam have been doing for the last 8 years, I think we are definitely marching in the right direction, and there is amazing acceptance, most importantly by consumers globally. So we are very, very hopeful to continue on this journey and, sort of take a pie of that over the next few years.
Bala, we have a lot of numbers in hand, and you've spoken to us earlier as well, telling us that you export to nearly 130 countries, 4 million consumers. But the interest also is in the fact that how many tea varieties do you have in the store right now?
So Manisha, this is, the experience store actually offers everything we have built at Vahdam over the last 8 years. So we have right from over 100 plus signature blends, which has our superfood, native Indian superfoods like turmeric, moringa, ashwagandha, blended with teas, which is our fastest growing category. From that to single estate teas from Darjeeling and Assam, instant teas like instant chai, instant iced teas, of course, gifts and assortments. And to add to that entire experience, we also have a large range of drinkware and tea accessories. So this is, Vahdam India and all our portfolio and all its glory at the store. And we, of course, get all our incoming consumers to sample some of these products so that they can also decide what they like before making the purchase.
Bala, I know you're in Delhi, and Delhi wales do like their chai ka cup in the morning. But what about Mumbai? We're still waiting for that store here. And what other parts of the country are you looking at?
Hopefully soon, Manisha. I think if Bombay is definitely the second city we want to come to. But to be honest, Manisha, I think this is more like a pilot store. I think we have just opened our doors 10 days back, and the idea is to first build this playbook, perfect this playbook like we have tried to do in every channel we have launched in, right from online, then getting into physical retail and now EBOs. So I think we want to focus on that for the next 6 to 12 months. And once we are...
Okay. So, Bombay is next on the list, and we do hope that you get you back, Bala. But, the next question really is about overall tea industry that we're looking at in India. The industry clearly seems to be reeling under a lot of concerns because we've seen input costs go higher, not so much for the tea prices. What you really deal is into premium teas and branded teas. Is it a story of two worlds here?
Manisha, to be honest, I think what we deal is in value addition. And when you do value addition in a commodity, which foreign brands have been doing, so it's not that we are selling a luxury product. We are ultimately a mass premium brand, and that's how we are positioned. But because we do a lot of value addition, the price realization for us as a brand is significantly higher versus a trader who would do it at absolutely single-digit margins, like very low single-digit margins. And because of that, we have enough buffer, in our P&L to accommodate for some of these minor, changes, minor change in prices, fluctuation in prices which keep happening. And honestly, they've happened previously. They will always happen because it's ultimately an agri product. But I don't see that impacting our input cost significantly at any point of time.
Bala, hi, good afternoon. This is Sonia here. I just want to jump in, since, this is a really interesting discussion, and I thought I just had one question. In an environment where we have a lot of startups burning cash left, right, and center, finding it hard to get into profitability, your company, it's of course grown in scale at a rapid clip, and you've not burnt much cash despite the kind of growth that you've seen. What is it that you're doing right?
Sonia, I think, honestly, we've always tried to sort of conserve cash. And, even while we were net profitable the year before last year, we've always, even when we are burned because of the investments we have made in the brand, it's still a 8-year-old young startup trying to build something in global markets. So there is significant investment in terms of manufacturing, infrastructure we have done over the last few years. And just to add to that, everything we sell at Vahdam, we manufacture it ourselves, unlike a lot of players you will see in the D2C space. But that said, I think last year was very, very tough for us, given the global supply chain pressures you would have seen for all brands who were global, right from the inflationary pressures in key markets like US and Europe, the overall consumption, which, crashed because of, markets crashing in some of these markets. And then, of course, the Ukraine-Russia conflict leading to significant increase in logistics costs, both air and sea. But I think the worst is over for us. And, even this year, I think we are seeing much better. And we're coming back to the same margin structures we've had over the first 6-7 years of us as a company.
I'm just tempted to ask, Bala, how long before an IPO?
No, I think, Mangalam, still very, very early for us. I think, I think right now the focus is to build the business and go deeper in everything we are doing over the next 3 years before we decide to sort of, take any further capital also, and maybe hopefully IPO in the markets as well. But no plans as of today.
All right. Thank you so much for joining in. We'll savor that cup of tea for a longer time and maybe perhaps await that IPO after a while. Thank you, Manisha, for joining in and bringing in such insight from the chai market. With that, we'll wrap up on this edition of Halftime Report. Stay